Hey everyone, my name is Rachel Barbosa and I am a realtor with Levin Rinke Realty here in Northwest Florida. Today I want to chat with you about the recent changes to our real estate market. Although I am in Florida, these changes will be seen throughout the whole United States. So stay tuned to learn about these changes and what this means for you. So for the past few years now, the National Association of Realtors, or NAR, has been going through a settlement, which has resulted in new rules and regulations anyone with the title realtor must follow. The goal of these changes is to have more transparency in the real estate industry, which is really a great thing for everyone involved. With that being said, let's dive into what these changes are and how they may affect you, a buyer or seller. So change number 1, realtors are no longer allowed to show you a home for sale without having one of 2 documents signed. I am going to dive into what these documents are in a minute, but just know, if someone has the title realtor, this rule applies to them. And also remember, I am in Florida. If you are in another state, please discuss this with your local realtor. And honestly, even if you are in Florida too, then still discuss this with your realtor. Alright, so the 2 documents are the pre-touring agreement and the exclusive buyer broker agreement. Let's start with the pre-touring agreement. This is a one-page document, and honestly, it is just a way to really get us into that door. It states the brokerage and the consumer, which is you, and that you are agreeing to use this brokerage to view homes. There is also a blank right here to fill in how many days this agreement is good for. Please note, this blank should be filled in with a number that you are comfortable with. If you have never met the realtor before and you're not sure if they're going to be the right realtor for you, feel free to put in 1 day. But if you are confident in your working relationship with them, then you can put in 365 days. It is really the buyer's discretion. This next section talks about buyer's agent compensation. Now, this is where it can get a little overwhelming and potentially even a little scary, but just stick with me, okay? So for years, it really has kind of been the status quo that sellers not only pay their agent to sell their home, but they also offer to pay compensation to a realtor who brings them the buyer. So let's say, for example, a list agent says their fee is 6% of the purchase price. Then maybe they'll take, let's say, half of that, or 3% of the purchase price, and give it to the buyer's agent. With the new changes in place, we want to make it abundantly clear that this may not always be the case, and if the seller is not willing to offer the buyer's agent compensation, the buyer's agent fee will fall on the buyer. This section states what that rate is. Remember, this can be negotiable. Once this form is signed, then you are welcome to tour any home you would like for the set number of days agreed upon in this document. Now, this document is called the Exclusive Buyer Brokerage Agreement. There are different types of this document, and which one you use depends on what type of agency relationship you have with your realtor. I work in a transaction broker relationship, so this is the form that I use, and for the sake of time, this is the form I will be talking about here today. And remember, I am in Florida, so this is a Florida document provided to us. All right, so this document is 3 pages long, not 1 page like the pre-touring agreement. The Exclusive Buyer Brokerage Agreement goes more in depth as to what our roles are in this working relationship we are entering into. This top part is essentially the same as the other form, where we state who is agreeing to the following terms and how long the terms will be for. This next section here identifies what property you are looking for and the location you are looking in. So let's say, for example, you are looking for a single-family home in Pensacola. I would put residential detached right here and Escambia County, Florida here, which is the county that Pensacola is in. These next 2 sections go over the general obligation of the broker and realtor as well as obligations as the consumer. Again, for the sake of time, I won't go over all of these on here, but have a discussion with your realtor about these duties. The goal of these sections is to make sure everyone is on the same page and that there is full transparency as to what we all do. These following sections right here go a bit more into the retainer fee and also compensation. These numbers may look different for different realtors, so make sure you read over these numbers and ask any questions you may have about it. Down here we have a protection period, and then right here is the conditional termination clause. So let's say you and the broker agree to terminate this agreement. Right here will be a number that you might have to pay the broker in order to end this agreement prematurely. Again, this number may look different for the realtors, so just make sure you have a discussion with your realtor about it. Down here is a dispute resolution clause, and that really is only applicable if a problem arises and the controversy cannot be resolved between the two parties privately. Finally, the last sections explain the type of brokerage relationship you are agreeing to enter into. I work under transaction brokerage, so this briefly explains what that is. Then, if there are any additional terms, then it will be noted right here. And this last clause reiterates what the fees are and how they are negotiable. And whatever is written on this document is the percentage a broker will be paid. Now, I want to point out here that let's say we agree to a 3% commission, but you fall in love with a home where the seller's only offering 2.5% commission. Some realtors might be willing to drop their fee to that 2.5%. And if so, it will require an amendment to this agreement. Or let's say a builder is offering 4% commission. Same thing. An amendment can change the terms of this agreement. I recommend talking to your realtor about this and how flexible they are willing to be before signing the buyer brokerage agreement. The purpose of these new forms is to create the space for good conversations between you and your realtor. We can make sure everyone is on the same page and everyone understands their role in this working relationship. This is the new way of doing things. So just know that if you ever want to buy real estate with the help of a realtor, you will see at least one of these forms. Ideally, your realtor will calm the fears you may have and work with you to find your new home. Communication is key. The other change that the settlement created was that if the seller is offering a buyer's agent compensation percentage, it is no longer allowed to be posted on the MLS or MLS syndicated sites like Zillow. This doesn't really affect you, the consumer. It just requires the realtor to reach out to the listing agent to ask for that information. Now, realtors all work differently, but I personally like to find out that information before showing the home to the consumer, so that they are aware if they will need to bring a certain amount extra to pay my fee if they want to buy that home. All right, so with that, I think we're done. Again, these new changes really push for more transparency in the real estate industry, which is a good thing. Realtors work hard and deserve to get paid for their work, but it is also important for everyone to be on the same page about their compensation and where those funds are coming from. If you have any more questions, feel free to reach out to me, Rachel Barbosa, in the comments section or by email. If you are looking for a realtor in the Northwest Florida area, then I would love to be of assistance and help you fulfill your real estate goals. Okay, have a great day, everybody. Bye.